Fake news, they're trying again. Oh boy, they hate Trump. Impeachment 1, impeachment 2, Russiagate, all this nonsense. Now, what do we call this? Listen to it. It's disgusting. National Archives asked Justice Department to investigate Trump's handling of White House records, and Adam Schiff is sounding off. And this is the disgusting part. This is the ludicrous part. It's also a little bit funny. It's just bizarre and it makes no sense. Take a look.
I learned that staff in the White House residence would periodically find the toilet clogged. The engineer would have to come and fix it. And what the engineer would find would be wads of, clumped up wet printed paper, meaning it was not toilet paper. This was either notes or some other piece of paper that, they believed that he had thrown down the toilet. What it could be, Brianna, could be anybody's guess.
Could be anybody's guess. Call Robert Mueller immediately. I want to know. It was an engineer. What the hell was he doing fixing the toilet? Okay. What are you supposed to do when the toilet paper? It's absurd. It's nonsense. Here we go again. It doesn't pass the laugh test. It really doesn't. I think we can all move on. I'm going to move on. I'm very hopeful about the candidacy of Kari Lake, the Republican in Arizona. Have you heard about her? Former anchorwoman in Phoenix. And now I think she's poised to who knows what. She has this great habit. She records the media as they're interviewing her. Watch what happened.
Well, do you think they should be pardoned? Do you think they should be pardoned?
I have no say in that. I'm running for governor. This isn't something a governor does. You're trying to twist this interview and trying to make me look bad.
You're a Republican. He's the Republican leader.
What I don't like is that people are being held in prison without being charged. That's un-American. Maybe they get away with that stuff in Australia. Perhaps in Australia, because you've given your rights away, you melted down all of your guns, and you guys have no freedom, that you find that okay. But here in America, we do things differently. We have something called the U.S. Constitution, and we have rights. And we don't take kindly. Kindly on Americans being locked up for months on end without being charged. So charge them or get off the pot.
So we'd be better off having more guns here. I mean, what? You would.
You absolutely would, sir. You absolutely would. I feel so sorry for the people in Australia, have no power. The only thing keeping us from being Australia right now or Canada is our Second Amendment. And we will never, ever let that go. Mark my words. What we saw happening in Australia, where you have internment camps and people are being forced, if they've encountered anybody with COVID, to be locked into a quarantine camp, is the most horrifying thing I think I've ever seen a government do. It's frightening. And if you can't see that, I feel sorry for you.
This is a great thing to do. Whenever you're interviewed by the media, record it and turn the tables on them. Why not? Kari Lake, it looks like she's going to win. Who knows? We'll see. I hate to be the Democrat who's running against her. All right, time to go to Florida. Have you heard about the new bill down there, the Parental Rights in Education bill? It applies to public schools. It would prohibit discussion of sexual orientation in the classroom as part of the curriculum, prohibits discussion of gender identity. And further, inside the bill, it talks about this: parents, their rights, notifying a student's parent if there is a change related to the student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being. Goes on to say, reinforce the fundamental right of parents to make decisions regarding the upbringing and control of their children. Now, the left, they hate this. They hate everything about it. And so they bring in their favorite, Mayor Pete, who is the Secretary of Transportation, right? But he's happy to show up on your cable TV show and weigh in on this issue because, well, he's gay. And why is that relevant? Well, it's why he's the Transportation Secretary. I mean, you look at the media coverage. They could never stop writing about his orientation. I personally did not care about his orientation. I cared that he exaggerated his military experience. We can talk about that some other time. So he shows up on the fake news and they ask him about this.
I do want to ask you about Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. Your husband, Chasten, is speaking out against the legislation. He says, in particular, that it could lead to more suicides among LGBTQ youth. President Biden has slammed the bill as well. In your view, is this dangerous legislation?
How about that? He used the left's moniker for the bill, their negative nickname, the Don't Say Gay bill. That's not what it's called. The anchor did not explain anything that's inside the bill. He just served it up. Go ahead and attack this bill. And who the hell, cares about Pete Buttigieg's husband, who's not in government? Pretty wild and pretty uninformative as well. Speaking of CNN, did you hear about what happened over there? Still reverberating around the world. Take a look.
We have news now to report involving our network. CNN President Jeff Zucker has just resigned after disclosing a consensual relationship with a colleague.
We're following some breaking news now. Big development sending shockwaves throughout the world of cable news. Jeff Zucker has just resigned as president of CNN, effective immediately.
CNN President Jeff Zucker abruptly resigned after acknowledging a consensual relationship with a coworker.
Okay. Seriously, who cares? I mean, it's a juicy story, potentially, but who is the president right now of CBS News? Let's close our eyes. I have no idea. Who's the president of NBC News? Same. Fox News. Who runs Fox News? I know the Murdochs own it, but who actually runs it? Who cares? This is such a silly inside, nobody else cares but these phonies in the media. But how they're reacting to it is fascinating. Now, over there at CNN, apparently there's panic because, well, they knew the boss, they liked the boss, and he's gone. Are they worried about you, the viewer? No, they're worried about themselves, and they always have been. It's a great big vanity project for so many of these people. So the new boss comes in. His name is Jason. I don't know anything about him, never met him, seems like a nice guy, who knows? And he's having these town hall meetings and talking to everybody about, we're going to move forward now. And they're just harassing the guy with questions about what do we do next? This is Allison Camerata, anchor, formerly of Fox, now at CNN, just laying into the guy. Listen.
What you're hearing and what we're all experiencing is just a huge shockwave to all of our mental health. This has been incredibly destabilizing and unsettling. And, one of the secrets, I think, to mental health is understanding. And the way that happens is getting some answers and some closure. And we don't have that. We don't understand in this room why the death penalty was necessary. We all agreed there's a mistake made. Jeff acknowledged there was a mistake made. What we don't understand, and what's affecting my mental health personally, is the death penalty aspect of this. It's really bewildering.
Her boss didn't die. He was let go. Her mental health, she needs closure. The whole country has been through a lot over the past couple of years, right? COVID, the shutdown, riots. She didn't miss a paycheck. Nobody over there missed a paycheck. All of Jeff's favorites, put them back up on the screen. Jake Tapper, Don Lemon, all of them have been there for so long, and they're worried about their mental health because their boss's boss's boss was let go. You want to see stress, you want to see intensity, you want to see something that could throw your mental health? This stuff. So, combat can lead to real stress, real problems, potentially. Quite frankly, post-traumatic stress disorder is probably overstated. It's been written about. It's possibly overdiagnosed. Studies are not definitive on this, but it's my sense. I've seen it. I've talked to guys. I served for a significant amount of time. PTSD, overdiagnosed. And it's coming from the top. There's a general, one of the top generals of the Air Force. Here he is. His name is Minahan. And he let the world know via Twitter that he went to go see the base shrink, the psychiatrist. He went ahead, put it online, mental health appointment. And then he went on to tell everybody about it, that it was such a great thing. Warrior heart, no stigma. Okay, I didn't say there was one. I've learned more about myself in the last 3 days than in the last 30 years. It was humbling, terrifying, and strengthening, and I'm better for it. I've learned stopping the stigma starts with me. Hashtag Warrior Heart. Everything is a silly hashtag campaign these days. Well, there is no stigma about this stuff. I mean, when we go to the doctor, though, do we tell everybody, I got something wrong with something? And no, it's a private matter, and it can be. As far as stigma and mental health, anybody see The Sopranos? The whole show is about that tough guy getting help from Dr. Melfi, right? How about in the 70s? Bob Newhart, he was a psychologist meeting all kinds of people all the time. No big deal. In MASH, I grew up on MASH. Remember that doctor, the sensitive one who came around? So why do I bring this up? Because our military is focused on very silly things. And again, you know who's not focused on silly things? I don't like these guys, but I think they've got their priorities straight when it comes to national defense. The Chinese.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.